Hello everyone, it's Chrissy here at Footprint Tarot. Yes, like all the other readers out there, I am going to have a look at the month of July for Donald Trump. I'm going to do 4 cards across, one for each week. Where he's at, what his challenge is, what are the hidden influences, good or bad, for him or for us, and what's the likely outcome at the end of this week. So it's, for those of you who don't know, it's 12/17, so it's very early on on Tuesday the 2nd of July here in Australia. So we're going to do week 1, which will take us up to next Monday, I guess, which is Sunday the 7th, and then we'll go on from there, from Monday to Sunday for the next few weeks. Okay, so let's have a look at what is happening with Trump in the month of July. Okay, let's have a look at the bottom card. The 9 of Swords. He is, this person is out in the cold. The look on their face says they're not sure where they're going to go. They don't look very hopeful of finding shelter. They look pretty worried about themselves. So I think he is feeling a bit anxious about the upcoming month. So we'll go where he's at, what his challenges are, what the influences are, for or against, if the influences are for him or against him, or what the hidden influences are. And what the end of the week looks like for him. So week 1. Where he's at. He's got the 4 of Swords. Swords again. He is having a little bit of a rest. Or I think Lena Rodriguez with her Russian deck had the guy stretched out on a few chairs, just having a bit of a lie down. Yeah, he's withdrawn a bit and he's having a little bit of a rest. He's had a busy few days, flying to Japan and then down to the demilitarized zone and doing heaven knows what there. So he's having a bit of rest and retreat at the moment. I'll push this back a bit so you can see the cards a bit more. Okay, what his challenges are. A lot of things coming at him very quickly. It could be travel, or it could be communications, ideas, investigations. I think as we go forward that might become clearer, but whatever it is, whether it's investigations or travel or people talking at him or asking him to talk, there's going to be a lot of it, and he's going to find it a bit of a challenge. He's not going to be up to meeting that challenge. His hidden influences, whether this is for or against, we'll know sooner or later, but this is disappointing news or delayed news. It's also I call it the cuckoo in the nest card, the one that doesn't belong, the one that's secretly in there to do harm. So either he's gotten some news that he doesn't like, we don't know about yet, or someone's leaking some information to others. And what he'll be feeling at the end of the week, justice. Maybe he's going to start feeling justice. The wheels of justice might be starting to turn by the end of this week, and he's going to start feeling that. We'll know a bit more when I do the next week, which is next Monday the 8th, and so we'll go where he'll be, what his challenge will be, hidden influences, and where he'll be at the end of the week. Wow, the world. Next week, the world's going to start watching him, or he'll be at the completion of something, the end of a journey. The world card is the last card in the major arcana, and it signifies the end of the Fool's journey, which maybe it will be the beginning of the end of his journey, his journey as president. His challenge is the Queen of Wands, which I mainly see as Nancy Pelosi and or Congress, mainly the House of Representatives. But the challenge is Congress, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the challenge can't be the Senate as well. I'm going to be doing a reading on Mitch McConnell next, and the challenge might be keeping the Senate part of Congress on his side as well. Not just Nancy and not just the Democratic-held House, but also the Senate. I might do a separate reading on that. Or if I have time, I might throw it onto the end of this one. Materialism, hidden influences, greed and avarice. It's strange that this is hidden influences because he doesn't really hide his greed and avarice much. But he might not hide the fact that he's greedy and avaristic, but the details of it is something that we still haven't found out, and the American public still haven't found out all the details of it. They know quite a bit, but not everything there is to know. And his greed and avarice is still influencing everything. Influencing his decision. Like, I still can get more out of this. Okay, I've always wondered whether he's, to say it starkly and not very nicely, whether or not he's skimming money from the government. In more than just the emoluments called. So where's all the money that he spent on the border wall going? He hasn't spent whatever billion he had, 1 or 2 billion. He hasn't spent all that on the little bits of concrete he's put up there. So it's interesting, but again, that's a reading for another time. But his greed and avarice is still very much, it's an out there influence, but there's still so much about the details that are hidden. At the end of that week, at the end of the second week, like the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, suspended animation. Maybe suspended actions, his actions are being suspended, or people who have been to put it plainly, chicken shit, to really look what they've done in the face, start doing that. Start looking at it from this perspective they should have been looking at it from all the time. And realizing that, as quite a few readers said, Trump Trump is a problem, but he's not the problem. He is a symptom of the corruptibility and avaristic GOP. That's not to say that any of the Democrats are altruistic and incorruptible either. I'm sure there are Democrats who have done their fair share of naughty things as well. And they all need to be having a different look at the way they've been doing things. So, now we're going into the third week of July now, which is 15. That's the week that Muller's testifying. So at the start of the week, on the Monday, I'm just going to check the date on the Monday. It's the 15th. Oh, Trump's going to go into that week feeling very embattled. Trying to hold up his defenses, trying to build up his defenses. This guy is busily digging in the dirt, throwing in seeds or whatever to try and grow more wands. He's trying to build up his defenses. So it's really fascinating to me that the different artwork and the different cards can lead to slightly different pictures of, you know, open up more interpretation of the cards. The challenge for him, I've always seemed to say, oh, this is overflowing emotions, but I was reminded about one of the basic things about this Ace of Cups card. It also represents new alliances, new friendships. I think perhaps more of the GOP might be starting to turn and form alliances with the Democrats with regard to looking at what they need to do to get this man out of the White House. Hidden influences, the Queen of Pentacles again. So many people. Now, it's my understanding from watching some news articles and other readers is that Rebecca Mercer is turning her royally, or no, what is it? Her well-heeled back on him and saying, no more from me, buddy. The Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of the Money, is saying, no, you're not getting any more. And that's, again, an influence that is hidden. It's not up front and out there, but it is influencing his situation. It's funny that Muller hasn't come up yet, but lo and behold, the Seven of Pentacles. Reap what you sow. You're going to have to listen. And he will listen. He'll watch it, even though he'll say, oh, I don't have time to be bothered with it and I don't watch it. He's going to be watching Muller's testimony, and by the end of the week, he's going to feel, oh, holy shit. I did not know he had all that on me. He's going to be looking, and all of these represent lots of information and bits of stuff that he thought he knew what Muller had, but all of this sort of thing represents, all of these pentacles represent all the stuff he didn't know Muller had, and it's a lot. And he's going to be looking at it, I think, and going, well, is that burning? I feel my button fire. Yeah. So the next weekend, the week starting the 22nd, Monday the 22nd. He's going to be starting out that week thinking, how the hell can I get away with this? How the hell can I get out of this? What games can I play? What plans can I put into motion that will let me get away with the theatery and skullduggery and all the naughtiness? He's going to be thinking that. And he's going to have a challenge. This is the Three of Cups. This is circle support in many instances. This are people, they're toasting. Two people here with the little one overhead, but they're toasting a new alliance, I think. They're celebrating new alliances. And they're, they're taking their support away. That's the challenge. It's people celebrating new alliances and him losing their support because they are finally wising up. And I think maybe this Eight of Wands is all of the people starting, all of the GOP are maybe starting to quickly realise that they can't keep doing what they're doing, what they have been doing with him. Hidden influences. Ten of Swords. The tens often represent the end of a cycle. But I think someone's going to be getting some daggers out. Someone from within. Someone he can't see yet or doesn't know who. Is going to start plunging in the daggers, and he's going to start feeling maybe the end is coming. What's it called? The dark night of the soul. It's not complete and painful ending. I don't know when he's going to leave, and I'm not going to try and predict when he's going to leave. But because we can say, oh, it's definitely going to be this and that, but free will and actions can always make a difference. So, but someone's going to be sticking the knives in, and I don't think he's even going to be aware of it, of who it is or why they're doing it. The end of that week, the weekend. He's going to be feeling out in the cold, and he's going to find it hard to see a way out. This, unlike a lot of the other out in the cold cards, there's no church lights spanning them. There's a sunset in the background, or maybe even a sunrise in the background, but their back's turned to it. They can't see the rising sun, they can't see the lightning. They're blindfolded and they can't see a way out. They're out in the cold and they can't see a way out of that. Very quickly, the last few days, there's, I think 3 days left in the month after that, because I am going to run out of tape soon. He's going to start off feeling isolated. That's pretty fun. He's going to be feeling pretty isolated by the time the last week starts. He's going to be made an offer he doesn't want, but an offer he's going to have to really think about, unlike some other cards where, hello, I'm back. As you probably were used to by now, my phone ran out of space, so I've had to just dumped the first part and going on. Now, we're in the last few days of July. He went into the week feeling out in the cold and not being able to see his way back to wherever he wants to go. I'm wondering about this little figure, whether they're tightening the blindfold or loosening it. It's interesting, isn't it? I think if this person asked, the little cherub or whatever he is would loosen it, but he's too stubborn to ask. I think. Anyway, he's going to be feeling very isolated, and he might be feeling that this torch is, this person's passing the torch onto somebody else. That's interesting. Maybe he just wants, he might be feeling, I just want to go. He's passing the torch on to someone else. I haven't seen a hermit card like this before, so it's like maybe he is starting to contemplate leaving. As I was saying before the thing cut off, this is usually an offer that not very welcome. In most of a lot of the cards like this, the people are focusing on the cups they still want. They're not bothering to look at the cup that's being offered to them. And this person, looking at the eye line, isn't really looking at either set of cups, but he is starting to look at the person holding the cup. So perhaps he could be contemplating it the same way he could be contemplating passing the torch or the presidency on to somebody else. Hidden influences. Okay, I'm back again. The phone seemed to think it was full even though it wasn't. I had to turn it off and reset it and everything. So, sorry for the delay. Though you probably won't, just be a bit of a glitch on the screen. Feeling out in the cold, thinking about handing over the torch, taking an offer that he doesn't really want, but I don't think he really feels he has much choice there. Hidden influences. He wants his legacy to, and his to not be eroded away, but that's just useless. But he also wants to try and preserve the money and maybe hang on to any money there is for his family. But from everything I've been hearing, by the time the government and the courts are through with him, there's not going to be anything left, really. But I think he wants to go out with people still thinking that he's the great money man with the perfect family, I think. And that's an influence on him. At the end, if he's going to end July thinking he's won something, what, I don't know. If he does leave, he's going to leave thinking that he's won because he's left on his own term. If he doesn't leave, he's going to be thinking he's won because he's still there. So that's really, really interesting. Wow, it seems like a pretty active and interesting month ahead for Donald Trump. But they usually say beware the Ides of March, but I'd say in this instance, beware the, I don't know, just beware of July. Isn't there a song or something that says, July, you're a woman? Well, there's a woman in July. Perhaps two women in July. Perhaps even three, being Lady Justice. July, you're a woman as strong as any woman can be, or something like that, the lyrics go. Three very strong women, Lady Justice, Rebecca Mercer. I don't know much about her except that she doesn't sound like someone I'd really want to get too involved with. And Nancy Pelosi and her congressional forces. They're going to be very influential on what happens to Donald and what the month of July throws at Donald Trump. Anyway, thank you for your patience with me with the stop-start there. And please remember to like and subscribe. And if you do want me to read on anybody else, please leave a comment. And I'll do my best to get there as quickly as possible. And yeah, next up, I'm going to be looking at Mitch McConnell. And could he face a vote of no confidence? Okay, thank you very much.